What the hell is Saw Sports or whatever that last call was talking about? What the hell is that?
Guys are from Free Love, man.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Hector Flores coming at you with an Astros video, and this video is 5 players that I think the Astros should trade for. Now, I know in most videos we do a bonus, but it's actually real. It's like kind of slim pick. Not saying specifically slim pickings, but you know, I have to be mindful with what the Astros can really do. There's going to be obviously that financial, the tax threshold that the Astros are right now currently flirting with. So I don't know if the Astros are, if James Click or Jim Crane have no issues of going over that threshold and paying that luxury tax, or what's going to go on. But so that's going to be kind of the issue as to why it's kind of slim pickings. But also, you know, a lot of teams are still in it as far as in their standings in their divisions. So it's not as like, if you guys want to understand my thought process when it comes to players to go trade for, they have to be in a team that's underperforming. So and just because you're slightly below 500 or even at 500, you still have a fair shot. Because I mean, as long as you don't have a terrible losing record, then I don't know what to tell you. So most of the teams that are in here are in losing teams. There's one player in particular that isn't necessarily in a bad situation, but there's some rumors speculating around that team that makes you kind of think that they're maybe preparing to sell. So that's the only reason why I have one specific player. But the rest are teams that are just not in contention and probably won't be in contention. At least it's safe to say. But yeah, also that, but also be mindful of the threshold. And like I said, the big issue for the Astros right now is just they don't have the draft capital, which means prospects. You know, are there some? I mean, there's some prospects that the Astros have, but are those prospects and players that are the Astros ready to give up? You know, obviously Pedro Leon, who's looking amazing since coming into the minors. You have Jose Siri killing it over in Sugarland. So there are some players that could be used as enticing, but the question would be, do the Astros theme them wanting to give them up? I know Pedro Leon kind of looking at that future outfielder, and Jose Siri just looks amazing. There's a lot of players in the minor league system that the Astros have that actually look pretty good. The question is, are the Astros willing to give these guys up for a guy that's probably only going to be here for this season and this season only? So there's that. And also the other thing that I'm looking for are relief pitchers. Obviously the relief pitchers are what's struggling. And I don't think it's necessarily because they're bad. I think it's just because they're inexperienced. Kind of similar to what Framber Valdez a lot. And y'all don't act like y'all weren't either. But some people thought that Framber Valdez was not it. The big issue was just making sure they had control of his pitches. And similar to Josh James, I'm sure a lot of people think Josh James is trash, but he's very similar to Framber Valdez. And that's kind of the same thing with a lot of these guys in the bullpen. You got to be mindful. Like, a lot of these guys stepped up last season in a pandemic year and looked pretty well, mind you, in a pandemic year. But most of these guys would probably have been playing in single A or double A or triple A, not right away in Major League Baseball. But some of them have earned their spot. But that's still, they're very inexperienced, and they're going up against Major League talent in a full Major League season. So that kind of answers the issues with the bullpen. But you want some guys that have some experience and can come in here and help and be part of it right away. So most of these guys are bullpen pitchers. So I'm just going to point that out there. The bullpen needs work, and these are some guys that I think could come in and help that. So before I get to the video, make sure you guys like this video, subscribe to Saw Sports, and also click on that notification bell so you'll be notified when we drop videos just like this, or when we do our live streams, you know, whenever we do that. Also, if you guys want to help support Saw Sports, you can go ahead and join the Patreon or become a member of the YouTube channel, and that'll put you into the Discord, which is a ton of fun when it gets pretty wild in there, because I'm sure if I look at it right now, it's probably pretty wild right now. But anyways, let's get going with this video. Alright, to start things off at number 5, I have Daniel Hudson, a 34-year-old relief pitcher from the Washington Nationals. Some of you guys may remember Daniel Hudson as he's the guy that struck out Michael Brantley to win the World Series. I'm sure you guys don't remember that, but that happened. So Daniel Hudson is in his last year of his contract. He currently has an ERA of 2.59, has a WHIP of .904, and has had 35 strikeouts. I do believe right now he's currently in the injured list. And the reason why I have a player from the Washington Nationals on this list is because there's some rumors going around that they could be trading Max Scherzer, which, I mean, if you trade away one of your best pitchers besides Steven Strasburg, probably means that you guys don't necessarily expect to go far, at least make a playoff appearance, or maybe not go far in the playoffs if you do make it. So mainly because of that rumor. I don't know if they're really going to trade Max Scherzer, but I know that that's a name I've been hearing around in the rumors. So because of that, I think maybe if they're prepared to offload one of their best pitchers, maybe Daniel Hudson, who is in his final contract, could also be a possible player to trade for. Once again, I'm not going to go ahead and give you guys who I think the Astros should trade for. I just think that this is a guy that the Astros should probably be looking at, and that's how I approach everything. I don't recommend any trades. I just think these are some guys that are realistically possible that, you know, could be made. And I mean, he's probably got like the biggest amount on his contract, so that's going to be our biggest hit as far as the tax threshold. But you know, there's that. So at number 5, I have Daniel Hudson. All right, at number 4, I have Sterling Marte, 32 years old, center fielder for the Miami Marlins. All right, this is for all those Miles Straw haters out there. Sterling Marte is looking really solid, has a .296 batting average, has an on-base percentage of .401, has a slugging of .463, an OPS of .864, and has hit 6 home runs. Just the fact that the guy can get on base and the guy's hitting is enough to I'm sure sell people, because I'm sure that if you put those stats next to Miles Straw, I'm sure if you're a Miles Straw hater, well, here's my way of appeasing you. This is the only player that's not a pitcher that's on this list, and I just think just because of how he looks could help, especially as far as depth in the outfield. You can end up, you know, rotating Miles Straw, McCormick. You know, give guys breaks. You know, obviously, you know, they're using Jordan now as a left fielder on occasion, but you have something to rotate, especially with Sterling Marte with his speed. Could be a good addition to the Astros, at least for a rental if things work out well for the Houston Astros. But I think Sterling Marte would be a very good, at least someone worth seeing what Miami wants. All right, at number 3, I have Michael Gibbons of the Colorado Rockies. He's 31 years old, relief pitcher, obviously. The rest are going to be relief pitchers. Has an ERA of 2.78, has a WHIP of 1.279, and has 25 strikeouts. Like I said, bullpen's gonna. The fact that he has at least stats like that playing for the Colorado Rockies, because we all know about the Coors effect, at least means something. So I mean, if he can do that in Coors Field, just imagine what he can do with Brent Strom at Minute Maid Park. That's my real reason. Plus, Colorado Rockies, they're dead last in their division. Unless a miracle happens, especially when you're in a division with the San Diego Padres and the LA Dodgers and San Francisco looking pretty shockingly good. You know, it'd probably be a player to look into to see if what would it take to bring him over to Houston. All right, at number 2, I have Yimi Garcia from the Miami Marlins. He's 30 years old. He is a relief pitcher. Like I said, the rest are going to be relief pitchers. Has an ERA of 2.70, has a WHIP of 1.033, and has 31 strikeouts. I mean, there's a reason why I'm going for Miami. I think this is the only team that I've gone for 2 players, but Yimi has actually looked pretty solid. Has experience. I mean, that's really all that really comes into play. But he's not that expensive, and I think could come in and help boost up the bullpen at least. So that's why I have Yimi Garcia. All right, at number 1, I have Shreve, a 30-year-old relief pitcher from the Pittsburgh Pirates. Take it for what you want. The Pittsburgh Pirates are probably one of the worst teams in baseball, but Shreve is looking pretty solid. He has a 1.42 ERA and has a WHIP of 0.895 WHIP, and has a total of 16 strikeouts. I mean, yeah, it's the Pittsburgh Pirates, so take that for what you want. But I mean, he's having a pretty decent year compared to the rest of the Pittsburgh Pirates. So I mean, you gotta give that for what it is. I mean, you know, he's played quite amount of games at this point of the season. He's appeared in 22 games, so have a ERA of 1.42. that's got to mean something. And I mean, to throw him into the bullpen and have another arm that Brent Strom can use. I think as efficient as this guy is, he's not gonna get you strikeouts, but he's able to at least minimize the damage. So I think that this guy could definitely come in and help out the Houston Astros for sure. And that's it, man. Tell me what you guys think of the 5 players I said the Astros should probably trade for. Once again, I don't know who they should give up to get these guys. I'm just saying these are guys that the Astros should probably be hitting up right now to see what they need to do to bring these guys to Houston. If I had to say who, I would say obviously number 1 is Chase and Shreve, but Yimi Garcia, I mean, just because I like the strikeout numbers, I mean, all of you guys are going to like the strikeout numbers, but that whip for Chase and Shreve is actually pretty amazing. But yeah, I think these guys could come in, obviously get brought into a better situation than where they are right now, but can help out the Astros, because I mean, the bullpen just needs to be addressed. Even if it's just 1 or 2 guys, it doesn't necessarily mean that all 4 of these guys need to come in, because I mean, let's be realistic. But if they can bring in a few guys, and I mean, they're relief pitchers, so they can't really demand a lot of prospects for it. Maybe one, some money consideration, something like that, but it can be done. These guys, it's more realistic with bullpen. I'm not, you don't have to go out there and get yourself a starter, because I think the starter situation, mind you, is a little bit better than what the bullpen situation is. But this is going to be the true test for Jim Crane, man. Now, what can he do in the trade deadline? Because we know that Jeff Luhnow always made some crazy moves. Obviously, he gave us Justin Verlander, he gave us Zach Greinke. I'm not trying to. I hate doing the whole comparing, because I feel like they're 2 completely different guys. But they are 2 completely different guys. But obviously, the Houston Astros fans, they've been spoiled by by Jeff Luhnow. I don't know if you guys can tell me about the other GMs of the Houston Astros, but Jeff Luhnow for sure is a guy that spoiled Houston. It'll be interesting to see what Jim Crane does. I'm not here telling y'all James Click. James Click is better than Jeff Luhnow, because let's be real, Jeff Luhnow got a World Series title. James Click doesn't. But I feel like I've just been saying Jim Crane for a while. But James Click, it's going to be a big test to see what James Click does, because I know that a lot of the fans aren't necessarily sold on him. And I mean, it's hard to be sold on him just because of Jeff Luhnow, and because we lost Jeff Luhnow on what a lot of people deem is on some bullshit, which I won't say my 2 cents. Nah, I mean, I'm past that. I'm over with the whole scandal and all that shit, so I'm done with it. But I know some people are still lingering on it and all that, but I mean, it's time to move on. But yeah, tell me what you guys think of the guys that I mentioned in this video. Who do you think the Astros should go? Realistically, who should the Astros trade? I'm expecting people. Oh, let's go trade Miles Straw and Brooks Raley to go get Max Scherzer. Like, let's be realistic of what I don't know what it is with people. Like, they make these like unrealistic attempts at trades and thinking that's gonna work. It's like, no, it's not. Who wants that? but yeah. So once again, man, if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Also, subscribe to Soft Sports if you haven't yet, and also click on that notification bell so you'll be notified when we drop videos just like this, and of course when we do our live streams. If you guys want to support us a little bit more, you can either join the Patreon or become a member of the YouTube channel. It'll be very good for us. Obviously, it's going to help financially support Soft Sports and at Honcho. So make sure you guys do that so we can keep giving you guys content and keep Sauce alive. I know it's been quite of a hiatus for Sauce Sports, and we're going to try to get back on it. So this is our proof that we're trying to get back on it. So there's that. I'm going to shamelessly plug my podcast, which is Insert Name FC. I know this is a baseball video, but you know what? It's my, that's my project. It's a project that I'm very proud of. I think I'm doing really good on it. But yeah, Insert Name FC. Currently, we're competing in our network's Podcast of the Year competition. If you want to help us out, the only way to do it is actually by listening to Insert Name FC on Unhinged SN. So you can follow Insert Name FC on Twitter at Insert Name FC. So that's how you do it. So yeah, that's my shameless plug. Sorry about that. Thanks for listening. Chunking up dudes. Y'all stay saucy.
Perfect.